All right, let's listen to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred, speaking on Ghana's fight against economic crime during his keynote address at the 40th International Symposium on Economic Crime at the Jesus College at the University of Cambridge.
The theme for this year's symposium, integrity, could not have been more appropriate. Integrity is the one word which runs through the grain of everything we do as persons concerned with enriching any system we work with. In the words of former US Senator Alan K. Simpson, and I quote, "If you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you do not have integrity, nothing else matters." End of quote. Classically, this sums up the importance and indispensability of integrity in every situation, including the creation of a world economic order insulated from the nefarious activities of criminal and unethical behavior. Whilst noting that the use of the word integrity may be more common in professional and personal contexts, the intricate relationship between integrity and economic practices cannot be lost. The creation of a clean, transparent, and accountable financial environment is dependent on structures and systems anchored in integrity. The deployment of sophisticated schemes to circumvent procedures and facilitate the commission of crime and other kinds of improper conduct in the global financial space brings into sharp focus questions of ethics and integrity. The manifestations of economic crime are increasingly getting complex because of various actions by professional enablers whose conduct borders on unethical behavior. These are breaches of procedures, violations of laws, laundering, creation of shell companies, opaque financial systems, and concealment of illicit wealth. And I'll proceed to share with you some of the efforts made by Ghana in the promotion of integrity in the economic sector. Ghana has had and continues to have its fair share of threats to its financial and economic sector. In my role as Attorney General and Minister of Justice for the Republic, I have come to understand that any serious endeavor to fight economic crimes must be firmly rooted in the establishment of systems for its deterrence, undertaking of smooth investigations where same occur, and a sound vehicle for prosecution and punishment in a fair and efficient manner. These systems indeed have a close connection with the peculiarities of the Ghanaian society. In Ghana, public procurement plays a preeminent role in the development of the nation. At the same time, public sector corruption evokes strong emotions. In view of this, the nation has enacted a set of rules from the constitution of the country to specific laws in the financial sector, founded on the principles of integrity to regulate procurement in the public sector and to curb abuse and insider trading. This, as public servants, are forbidden by Article 284 of the Constitution from placing themselves in a situation where their personal interests conflict with or are likely to interfere with the discharge of their duties. One piece of legislation that is directly intended to prevent economically motivated crimes and the abuse of office is the Public Procurement Act of 2003 as 663. Every year, the government of Ghana and the public institutions enter into many contracts for the provision of infrastructure, goods, and services. The Procurement Act regulates such procurement undertaken with public funds. The guiding principles of the Procurement Act are fairness, transparency, non-discrimination, the attainment of a clean process in order to obtain value for money, promote a competitive local industry, and increase the confidence of stakeholders in public procurement processes in the country. In addition to this, the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921, enshrines a body of laws to regulate the financial management of the public sector within the macroeconomic and fiscal framework and defines the responsibilities of persons entrusted with the management and control of public funds, as well as the accounting and audit of public funds. Indeed, the question to ask is, have this set of laws been foolproof for wrongdoing? And the answer, in my view, is a resounding no. Indeed, it is the case that wrongdoers will always find a way. They will constantly devise artful means of evading the long arm of the law. In spite of these protective measures, corrupt activities occur at every stage in the procurement process. This unquestionably have a significant negative effect on the economy and harm the development of the society. Insider trading is just one of many unethical behaviors. Some officials responsible for procurement activities in various public institutions abuse their trust by engaging in what is popularly known as behind-the-scenes business with contractors and suppliers. The unique position they occupy then gives them access to insider information which they unethically convey to contractors or suppliers to hand an unfair advantage to them over their competitors in a bidding process. The detection of false or inconsistent claims by contractors is often hampered by the illicit protection extended by public procurement officers who have the mandate to detect and revise them. The most chilling and perhaps shocking case of insider dealing was witnessed when a former head of the procurement authority was implicated in what was notoriously described as the contract for sale phenomenon. As the head of the public procurement authority, he was alleged to have established a company in which he held majority shares and which also actively bid for government contracts. This company was alleged to usually win the contract and which were subsequently sold to other contractors at a higher price. The revelation of this act promptly resulted in the termination of his employment by the President of the Republic and withdrawal of his membership of various professional institutions and subsequent prosecution, which is still ongoing. Indeed, last year, I spoke at this symposium about a phenomenon that had afflicted the financial sector of Ghana between 2018 and 2020. That is the emergence of many unlicensed financial entities operating illegally. The leaders of such entities often live a lavish lifestyle on the proceeds of their illicit activities. I indicated that prominent among such entities was an amorphous organization operating a microfinance institution under the guise of, and guess what, gold trading, legally using the name of a bank. It called itself Men's Bank and metamorphosed into a number of names before eventually taking up the name Men's Gold. It dealt in the purchase and deposit of gold collectibles from the public and issued contracts with guaranteed returns to clients without a license from the relevant authorities. The modus operandi of that company highlighted some of the major causes for the success of such fraudsters. And these are ignorance, vulnerability, and greed of the victims. The vulnerability and ignorance of thousands of otherwise hardworking Ghanaians was the oxygen for the operations of the company, as we often witness in the case of many Ponzi schemes around the world. People paid their life savings to the suspects in the case, resulting in losses worth millions of dollars, and in some cases, loss of lives. The misery and distress caused to many homes nearly unleashed a social crisis as riots and demonstrations broke out on the streets of Accra and other parts of the country. In reality, people lost their homes and some marriages even broke up as a result of the men's gold phenomenon. I am happy to state that after painstaking investigations, criminal prosecutions has commenced against the perpetrators. And at least by the grace of God, justice will be served to victims of those dastardly acts. In my respectful view, transparency is a bedrock of integrity. Thus, with the understanding that the haven for economic crimes is an atmosphere conducive to its consummate, and that access to information, remains a vital tool in the elimination of economic crimes. The government in 2019 ensured the passage of the Right to Information Act. The Act provides for the implementation of the constitutional right to information held by a public institution to foster a culture of transparency and accountability in public affairs, subject to a few exceptions necessary and consistent with the protection of the public interest in the democratic society. I have observed an increased utilization of the Right to Information Act by Ghanaian citizens to access information from public offices. Indeed, accountability is a winner. The government of Ghana has boosted the whistleblower regime by promoting a law to amend the Whistleblower Act of 2006. And this amendment, recently passed by Parliament about 2 months ago, introduced a reward system for whistleblowers. The amendment ensures that 30% of all revenue accruing from cases conducted in the strength of whistleblowers' activity is paid into the whistleblower fund, and 10% of the income directly generated by the whistleblower's efforts paid to the whistleblower. Coupled with the centrality of access to information, we have identified a policy of digitization of the Ghanaian environment as crucial to the creation of accountability and integrity in society. Policies like a robust national identification system, digital property address system, paperless port systems, e-justice system, pensions and insurance data, and a digitized land title registry have as their overarching objective the need to enhance transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the public space. A digitized environment ultimately helps to eliminate and prevent corruption in various institutions and agencies. Important institutions of state like the Passport Office, Ports and Harbours Authority, Office of the Register of Companies, the National Health Insurance Authority, and the Driver and Vehicle License Authority, which were hitherto fertile grounds for corrupt activity, have been remarkably transformed beyond recognition. I'll perhaps proceed to speak about the need to ramp up international efforts and cooperation to tackle economic crimes. Our survival as a global community depends on the continuous trust reposed on us. We must bear in mind that businesses exist to do business and to make profits, which ultimately will be at the expense of the rights of others. The extent to which they succeed depends on the society, population, and culture in which they operate. We must be acutely aware that the development and integrity of the global financial system are at risk from exploiters of weaknesses in the system to perpetrate financially motivated crime. But we can conquer wrongdoers and opportunists through a coordinated effort based on mutual cooperation between criminal justice partners and the private sector worldwide. Criminals exploit differences between countries to further their objectives, enrich their organizations, expand their power, and avoid detection or apprehension. They gain influence in government, politics, and commerce through corrupt and illegitimate means. The need for states to cooperate in combating the threat of economic crime is therefore more than imperative. Certainly, the interaction between business, politics, and justice is crucial, and that is what makes this forum truly remarkable. The consequence of a failure of integrity is far too dire to contemplate. When those who have been entrusted with authority to ensure that the right procedures are followed derelict on same, the trust and confidence of people, no doubt, will be abused. We need to punish corruption and other forms of economic crime through a fair, honest, and efficient justice system. As I have indicated before, a robust legal system underpinned by the rule of law goes hand in hand with economic prosperity as it bolsters the confidence of the people and deters perpetration of wrongdoing. The efficiency of a nation's justice system is tested particularly by the speed and efficiency with which cases seeking to hold so-called high-profile members of society and the privileged to account, as well as top financial crimes, are conducted. May we be guided by the words of the former American, or the famous American salesman and author, Zig Ziglar, and I quote, "Integrity gives you real freedom because you have nothing else to fear, since you have nothing to hide," end of quote.
So that was the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Dame, speaking on Ghana's fight against economic crime during his keynote address at the 40th International Symposium on Economic Crime at the Jesus College of the University of Cambridge.